What is the best option to replace a missing tooth? This is a question that has persisted for centuries. But before we answer it, we must agree on one fundamental principle. Anything we permanently place in our mouths, in our bodies, must be biocompatible. It should be something the body likes and accepts, and it should not cause other hidden problems down the road. Today, we're going to talk about the so-called gold standard for replacing teeth, the titanium dental implant. But we're going to discuss the side of the story that is often left out of the conversation in the dental chair. We will explore the hidden dangers and surprising controversies surrounding titanium and reveal a superior, more biocompatible alternative that modern holistic dentistry has to offer. This is the information you need to make a truly informed decision. A brief history of a big problem. To understand where we are, we must first understand where we've been. The problem of tooth loss is as old as humanity itself. We have historical evidence of ancient civilizations using ivory, bone, and even wood as primitive tooth replacements. Perhaps the most famous example is George Washington. By the time he became president at the age of 57, he had only one single natural tooth left in his mouth. His infamous dentures were not made of wood, as the myth suggests, but from a heavy, toxic lead base, into which were set a collection of animal and human teeth. They were so uncomfortable and ill-fitting that he often had to stuff his cheeks with cotton just to fill out his face, and he delivered many of his addresses without them in because he could not speak clearly. This illustrates the profound, lifelong struggle for a functional and comfortable solution. The great leap forward came not from dentistry, but by complete accident. In the 1950s, a Swedish physician named Dr. Brainmark was studying blood flow in the leg bones of rabbits. He had placed small observation windows, framed with titanium, into the bone. When he later tried to remove these titanium frames, he discovered something remarkable. The bone had completely fused to the metal. He couldn't get them out. He had accidentally discovered a biological process he named osseointegration, osseo for bone. He realized that if titanium could fuse to a leg bone, it could fuse to a jawbone. And with that, the modern dental implant was born. For decades, titanium has reigned supreme, but now, after years of observation, we are beginning to understand its hidden downsides. The flawed solutions of the past, dentures and bridges. Before we dive into titanium, let's quickly discuss the two other main options, which are still offered today. First are removable dentures, either full or partial. The primary advantage is that they are the least invasive and most affordable option. However, the disadvantages are immense. The moment a tooth is lost, the jawbone in that area begins to shrink, or atrophy, because it's no longer receiving the stimulation of chewing. A denture is a piece of plastic that rests on top of the gums, and the pressure it exerts can actually accelerate this bone loss. This is why dentures become loose over time and require constant relining and adhesives. Functionally, it's estimated that you lose up to 80% of your chewing efficiency with a full denture. The second option is the fixed dental bridge. The advantage here is that it's fixed in place and doesn't move. However, it comes at a huge cost. To place a bridge, the dentist must aggressively grind down two, often perfectly healthy, teeth on either side of the gap to serve as anchors. This is an irreversible procedure that destroys healthy enamel. Furthermore, research shows that bridges have a high long-term failure rate. The flexing of the bridge during chewing can cause the cement seal to break on one of the anchor teeth, allowing bacteria to leak underneath, leading to a massive cavity that often can't be seen on an X-ray until it's too late. It's often said that a bridge turns a one-tooth problem into a future three-tooth problem. The gold standard under the microscope, the hidden dangers of titanium. This brings us to the titanium implant. The bone integration is undeniable. It's a strong, solid solution. I have one myself that's been in place for over 25 years. But what we didn't know then, we are starting to understand now. There are two hidden dangers that are rarely discussed in a conventional dental office. Danger number 1: titanium overload and sensitivity. There's something you need to know about titanium. It's everywhere. Titanium dioxide is the white pigment used in countless products. It's in cosmetics, it's in sunscreens, it's the hard candy coating on Skittles and M&Ms, it's in white wall paint, and it's even in some processed foods. Our bodies are being exposed to a level of titanium that is unprecedented in human history. For some individuals, the body simply says, "Enough." This is called titanium overload. It's not a true allergy, but a sensitivity, an inflammatory response to having yet another piece of this metal placed inside the body. I remember a patient who, after I placed a titanium implant, suddenly couldn't wear metal jewelry anymore. The area around her implant was chronically swollen and inflamed. When we removed the implant, the inflammation resolved, and she could wear her jewelry again. Her body was overloaded. This chronic, low-grade inflammation around titanium implants, which can lead to bone loss and failure years down the road, is a growing concern in holistic dentistry. Danger number 2: the antenna effect, EMF conductivity. This is a more controversial but scientifically plausible danger. Titanium is a metal, and metals are conductive. They interact with electromagnetic frequencies, or EMFs. In our modern world, we are swimming in a sea of these frequencies, from Wi-Fi to cellular signals to Bluetooth. You know you don't put a metal pan in a microwave because the microwaves cause the metal to heat up. The same principle applies, on a much smaller scale, to the EMFs we are surrounded by 24/7. Research from the orthopedic world, looking at metal knee and hip replacements, has shown that these frequencies can pass through titanium and heat it up by a few degrees. In your jawbone, this subtle, chronic heating can be enough to cause localized inflammation and a slow, progressive loss of the bone that is fused to the implant. It's like having a tiny, low-powered antenna in your jaw. Am I concerned about my own titanium implant? Yes. I never put my phone to that side of my face, and I minimize my exposure where I can. But there is a better way. The superior solution: Zirconia implants. For these reasons, the world of holistic and biological dentistry has moved towards a superior alternative: zirconia implants. You may look on the periodic table and see that zirconium is a metal, right next to titanium. But we don't use zirconium. We use zirconia, which is zirconium dioxide, a ceramic. This is a crucial difference. Ceramic is an insulator. It is not electrically conductive. It does not have the antenna effect and does not heat up in response to EMFs. It also eliminates the risk of titanium overload. But the benefits of zirconia go far beyond that. First, the aesthetics. Zirconia is white, the color of a natural tooth root. This means that even if you have thin gums or experience slight gum recession over time, you will never see that dark gray line at the gum line that is so common with titanium implants. Second, the gum health. Your gum tissue absolutely loves zirconia. Studies have shown that the gums form a much tighter, healthier seal around a zirconia implant compared to a titanium one. Its smooth ceramic surface is also less attractive to plaque bacteria, which significantly reduces the risk of peri-implantitis, the gum disease that is the leading cause of implant failure. And third, the biocompatibility. Zirconia is considered one of the most biocompatible materials we can place in the human body. The body accepts it beautifully, with a near zero risk of sensitivity or inflammatory reactions. For years, there were myths that zirconia implants were brittle or couldn't be used for molars. This was true of the early one-piece designs, but modern two-piece zirconia implants are incredibly strong and have a success rate of over 97%, exactly the same as titanium. The ultimate protocol: supercharging your zirconia implant. So, we've established that zirconia is the superior material. But how do we create the absolute best possible outcome? In holistic dentistry, we supercharge the healing process using the body's own power. First, when the old tooth is removed, or when we are preparing the site, we use ozone therapy. Ozone is a naturally occurring energized form of oxygen, O3. As a gas, it can penetrate into the bone and surrounding tissues, where it is the most powerful natural sterilizing agent on the planet. It kills bacteria, viruses, and fungi on contact, ensuring that the implant is being placed into a perfectly clean, sterile environment. This dramatically reduces the risk of post-operative infection. Second, we use PRF, or platelet-rich fibrin. This is a revolutionary healing technology that uses your own body's healing power. We draw a small amount of your own blood, just like a standard blood test. We then spin it in a centrifuge, which separates it into its different components. We collect the layer that is rich in platelets, growth factors, and a fibrin matrix. This creates a healing blanket that is placed directly into the implant site. This PRF acts as a scaffold for new bone growth. It delivers a concentrated dose of your own healing and growth factors directly to the area, and it dramatically speeds up the healing process and improves the quality of the bone that integrates with the implant. By combining the superior material of zirconia with the biological enhancement of ozone and PRF, we are creating the optimal environment for lifelong implant success. So, if you have a missing tooth, you have a choice. You don't have to accept the old standards with their hidden risks. You can choose a modern, holistic, and biocompatible approach. Zirconia implants, enhanced with ozone and PRF, represent the pinnacle of what is possible in tooth replacement today. They look like teeth, they function like teeth, and your body loves them like they are its own. Biocompatibility is everything. The goal is to replace what's lost in a way that supports your entire body's health. Thankfully, we now have options that can do exactly that. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the future of dental implants. If you want more information, check out our website for free guides. And now, I want to hear from you. What is the biggest question or concern you still have about replacing a missing tooth? Share it in the comments below.